We need the clappers.
Hi, I'm Paul with the Montalban Theater, and this is Kari Keegan from Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. All right, Kari, we were talking just before we started rolling, and I wanted to know if you were a fan of the Friday the 13th franchise before you found your way into playing Jessica Kimball in this movie. And you let me know right away that no, you were not.
No.
Are you a fan of the horror genre at all?
No.
So I'm curious how you found yourself into playing Jessica Kimball in Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's actually a very long, funny story. I actually got sent as a joke by my agents. At the time, I had a roommate and a boyfriend who were really good looking, who were very Friday the 13th franchise material. And so I actually was initially reading for Vicky, which is Jessica, the lead's character's best friend. And I was in the room during the audition process, and I was hearing what the directors and the producers were liking about the characters that were reading for Jessica. And they had narrowed it down to a couple of actresses, and Allison Smith was one of them, who played Annie on Broadway the longest, super talented actress, had injured her hand at the time and had her hand wrapped up. And the producer, Sean Cunningham, said, hey, why don't we have Kari read it? And I kind of thought, well, I just heard everything they liked and didn't like, so kind of felt like a little bit of a cheater, if you will. But hey, talent borrows, genius steals. So I stole. And so I read for Jessica, and then they brought the other girls in to read for Vicky, other actresses, like 4 or 5 that were left. And then they asked us to play Frisbee. They did, literally, play Frisbee, because the character's really athletic. She has to jump over things, she has to climb down things. So they wanted somebody that was athletic. And so Allison and I started throwing the Frisbee back and forth. Thankfully, the hand that was injured was not her catching hand. And then we were throwing it to the other actresses, and they couldn't catch it.
So were these auditions or tryouts?
These were, well, exactly, like we were waiting for that idea. But they were auditions. And at the time, it made sense because the shoots are at night, and they're fast. And you have to get things done really quickly, and so being athletic, really served me for this movie.
I wanted to ask about the structure of the film, because it's an interestingly structured film, and it does feel like there was a lot that was either cut out or added in very late in the day. Now, horror films are kind of renowned for the intimate process amongst the crew, and whether they're a lot of money or a little money, kind of just making do with what you got. How was the process working with the cast and crew?
The crew on Friday the 13th was amazing. The cast was insane. It was so much fun. Anytime you work on a film, it becomes like an instant family, right? Because you're 24/7, you're spending lots of time with each other, all day, in our case, all night. So we shot almost always at night, especially when we shot on location, like when we shot the exterior of the house. That's actually a house in Agora Hills. Otherwise, we shot on sound stages, but to keep the schedule tight, we mostly shot at night. So, the crew's in a lot of the movie. There's some very funny little bits that people...
We have some cameos in the movie?
Oh, there's a lot of cameos in the movie.
Can you give us a couple?
Exactly. Okay, so in the opening, there's some security agents when Jason gets all blown up. And the security, 2 of the FBI guards, one of them is Kane Hodder, who actually plays Jason. So he gets killed by Jason. So I thought that was a little, and the writer, Dean Laurie, who's so great, he is the tech, who I think he's the first person to get killed in the film. If I'm not incorrect, I believe Dean is. And Adam, the director, is also in the movie. He plays a police officer in the station. So there are a lot of those little fun things.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, do you have looking back, any personal favorite moments either in the movie or just from filming, any scenes in the movie?
I do. There is a scene in Mel's Diner where I go to the counter and I'm telling Rusty's character that I want the baby, and she says no, and I pick up, I'm just going to use this. I pick up the napkin thing, and I go to swing it at her, and I came so close to actually hitting her that you see me go, oh my God, oh, like in the movie. And it was a total outtake because I almost hit an actress with, full force with a napkin container. And that made it into the movie. So there were a couple of bloopers like that. There's a scene, I actually have very curly hair. And so we were shooting and it was hot. And the hotter I get, the curlier my hair starts to get. And my hair's straight when I come into the movie. And poor hair people were really losing their mind with always kind of trying to straighten my hair out. So there's a scene when I'm leaning over Vicky's character that you can see my t-shirt slightly ripped, and I rip it off to put my hair in a ponytail so that hair doesn't have to deal with me anymore, or at least my hair. So that's the kind of funny stuff.
That sounds like an interesting filming experience. So were there any challenges that came with it too with filming, or are there any memories you have where it was
yes.
tougher?
There was a situation that's actually kind of funny. There's a scene where I go into the garage in the beginning of my part at the beginning of the movie, not the beginning of the movie, and I grab a flashlight, and Steven grabs me because he's gonna put the thing in my mouth thing, and the flashlight drops, and it actually broke my toe. And so the next day, if you watch me when I'm walking through the house when it's dark, I'm limping. It's like I'm hobbling because I can't really walk. And then it's the scene. I'm so sorry to laugh. Like when you laugh because you remember something. John LeMay, who is a strapping young man, might I add, had the most unfortunate, had to carry me to the car because I couldn't run down the driveway as we were escaping from Steven. So there is a scene where we're at the door and I grab the door and he throws me over his shoulder and has to run down the driveway with me. And there were like 7 takes. And yeah, so that was because my toe is broken.
I mean, that sounds like some great method acting.
Yeah, for him.
Like, yeah, Viggo Mortensen.
For John.
Viggo Mortensen, eat your heart out. She did it first.
I just feel bad for John. Oh, yeah. And then there's a scene where after that scene where we park, and I'm like, oh, yeah, let me get the baby. And then I smash his head into the steering wheel. There was supposed to be a big pad there. There wasn't.
There was supposed to be a pad.
Yeah, because I grab his head and I throw his head into the steering wheel. Then I open the door and I push him out. And I believe that there was a big, like, little red dent across poor John's head for a little bit after that.
So are these like fun memories to
Yeah,
look back?
well, I guess one's definition of like smashing people and hurting people as being fun could sound a little twisty, but it makes me laugh because there were things that are in the movie that people don't like think, oh, that really happened.
So what does it feel like to be the character who sent Jason to hell?
Very badass.
Yeah.
Very badass.
Where would you rank yourself on the list of final girls from, all the great horror films?
That would imply I saw them. So I'd have to say I rank first because I don't know, I haven't seen any of the other ones.
You walk out into the sunset, so
I walk out, John's holding the baby, I kicked it in,
You sent Jason to hell.
Yeah.
And I mean, that has to put you up near the top,
Well,
right?
and I'm related to him. Like a lot of people don't remember
That's
that
right.
reality, that, I'm a little twisted there, right? I'm related to him.
So, I know it's not really your favorite genre, but seeing as how you are, this central part to the lore of Friday the 13th, if they were, we have a lot of reboots or kind of bringing back older films nowadays, if they were to start the franchise up again, would you either want to be involved in it in some way, or at least like get an honorable mention in some way? And like, what do you have any sort of direction you'd want, the film to go?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's going to take a thought or two. Well, I think it would be of course it would be really fun to be involved in something now, especially if Sean was attached to it and, the rest of the cast was attached to it. I just got recently in touch with Diana Georgia, who's in the movie, and John and I, connected on the snap of the chat, the Instagram, or the face of the book, whichever one, I can't even remember now. I'm sad that Leslie has passed. I ended up working with Rusty on a few things later, but yeah, I think of course it would be fun. It's, I think of all of the Friday the 13th, not that I've seen them, but from what I heard is ours was the campy one, right? Ours made fun of itself. So it wasn't so serious and it didn't have as many blood and gore as the other ones did. So of course, I think it would be really fun to do it, like to do something again. Sure.
Okay, so horror isn't really your genre. Now, do you have a favorite genre? Like, how do you feel about like romantic comedies?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like horror. Well, I don't like horror movies, but like I like The Sixth Sense, and I liked, I forget the name of I like movies that are hauntings versus horror. The violence of horror is really just not my jam. I mean, it's the blood and the, that's not a thing that I like. But like, I saw Carrie, and I thought, yeah, would it be really fun to have some crazy superpower like that? Sure, yeah, sign me up. That would be fun. But the violence, the sort of, hacking up people, that's a little gross.
Okay, I'm a fan of Rear Window, so I'm right there with you as far as like the heavy gore of it all. But it is also a lot of fun. So there is, huge fan bases when it comes to these horror films.
Well, in Hitchcock, I mean, implied fear is worse than seeing it, correct? Like the idea of what's happening, like what can go on in my head is probably way worse than what you could put on film. But then when you see it on film, it's like, oh.
Okay, so if, horror films, the gore of it all isn't really your thing, do you have a favorite genre of film, or are you a big film fan?
I like period pieces. I like I like the Jane Eyres. I like you put somebody in a Victorian dress or, something in the 16th, 15th. I like that stuff. I like period pieces. I like documentaries. I like movies that teach me something I didn't already know.
Okay. All right, well, I don't know if you know this, we've started a new event here at the Montalban called Meet Cute that is celebrating all of the great romantic comedies of the industry. Do you have any favorite rom-coms or any like meet cute scenes between characters or anything? Harry
Met Sally orgasm scene, can't beat that. Straight on the money. Could totally act that out right now, but I won't. You've Got Mail. Meg Ryan could do no wrong. I mean, like she was the end all get all be all. Pretty Woman, which actually was supposed to, I think, wasn't Meg Ryan supposed to be in Pretty Woman? Like there's a whole thing about movies Meg Ryan was supposed to do but she didn't do that would make sense as to why like she wouldn't do them. Say Anything. Anything that John Cusack is in is golden in my world. Reese Witherspoon, Vince Vaughn, could do no wrong.
So have you had yourself any meet cute real life moments?
I've had meet. I wouldn't define them as cute. I would like to meet cute. Is that an option? Is there a box one can check for that?
Actually, we'll get to that. I mean, so what is your experience? We're in Los Angeles. What's your experience with kind of the LA dating market now?
Okay, well, let's just, wow. Is this a family show? Okay. Dating in LA is interesting. I'm of a certain age, so I have found that bar scenes, well, we're also just post-pandemic, so I haven't been really dating in 25 years, so that's a fun thing. So what used to be cool, I was like in my, late 20s, early 30s, so it's way different now. What's interesting is that everything's on like these Match.com, or I don't know if I could say branded things, but like on the dating sites, which I've had some friends help me with, and it's kind of like window shopping, if you will. Like you go to Neiman Marcus and you're like, love the shoes, hate the purse, great this, great that. So the swiping thing is fun, and what they say, you think, oh, and then you realize, oh, right? So a news flash for those gentlemen over, say, 55 that are dating. Your car and shirtless. It might work. You know what? It must work for somebody because they do it. It's just not my jam. It's just not my thing. Not my thing.
Okay, so those are some definitely don'ts. What are some questions or like what advice would you give for like good things for people to ask on a first date, or kind of advice that you could give to any of the single men out there?
Oh, to the single men. I thought we might go with the single ladies. Okay.
We can do both. We can do both.
Okay. For single men, I guess it's really just be very clear on what you want. Like I know what I'm looking for in a man, right? I don't want to raise anybody. I don't want to fix anybody. Those days are gone. I'm, over 55. I am looking for companionship and a partner. I'm not looking to fix anything at this time. That's a thing. Like that's not where I am. I think I'm very honest right from the gate. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want my time wasted by anybody. It's like I used to joke about if you are looking to buy a house, and let's say you can't afford a $5 million house. Well, I don't want to go look at a $5 million house because I can't afford that. So I think I don't go on a lot of dates right out the gate is because I just say what it is. Like what's a deal breaker for me? What's not going to work for me? And I'm too old to want to like be something that I'm not at this age. And I think too many people try and act like, oh, you can be all things to every bee, and you just can't. So for guys, just be honest. If you like this or like that, don't say you don't, because we're gonna figure it out real fast, especially this age. Now, if you're dating somebody in their 20s or 30s, that's a different story.
Yeah, you said there was about a 25-year gap between the last time you were dealing with the dating market.
Yeah.
Are there any like qualities or attributes in partners that you prioritize now versus like back then that it has changed?
Well, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're younger, you're looking for a partner, spouse, children, building careers together. Your wants and needs are completely different. At this age, I'm looking for somebody that is genuine and authentic and honest and a partner. Not somebody that's, cook and clean and uber housewife. At this time, I want to go on adventures. I'm, still young and very healthy, and I want to go travel, and I want to go to museums, and I want to do things. I've raised a family, and they're great, and I've had careers, I've had businesses, I was an actress. So now it's the time to kind of want to say settle into a type of retirement where you can still be working, but it's not your focus. Your focus is on enjoying your life and enjoying the fruits of all of the labor that you had put in for the past 25 years.
That makes a lot of sense.
Imagine that.
Fun. So you asked before, is there a box to check to be set up or anything? So funny enough, we are going to be screening Jason Goes to Hell the last Friday here on October 28th up on the Montalban rooftop. Meet Cute is going to run through the end of October. And it just so happens that every Wednesday we have 2 people meet on a blind date right here, and we live stream that first date up to our rooftop audience for everyone to witness. And if they'd like, they can go through our social channels and submit questions live for the 2 daters to talk about. Would you have any interest if we find somebody that we think is up to par to sit down with you and potentially go on a first date?
Yeah. I think that would be a hoot. That would be, but it'll be safe, right?
Oh yeah, no, we got you.
We'll
got
be
you
vetting
covered.
people, correct?
Yes, we have a strong vetting process.
I'm totally joking. Sorry, Paul.
So I think our last Meet Cute right now on our schedule is actually going to be the Wednesday following that October 28th screening of Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh my.
So would you be interested then?
Yes.
in
I think
signing up?
I think it would be hilarious. I think it'll be fun.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Kari, for
My
sitting
pleasure.
down to join us for this awesome interview. This was a really fun
Poor
time.
Paul.
I so appreciate you coming by to do this with us. It's been a lot of fun. We're looking forward to the October 28th screening of Jason Goes to Hell, the last Friday. Do you have anything you want to leave the folks with at home who are watching?
Come, it'll be fun. It's the 30-year anniversary, right? Came out in 1993, so
That's
we'll
right.
have glitter. I'll bring glitter. I mean, because it's never a party without glitter. There's got to be some glitter
And
involved.
you'll be joining us for the screening?
I will be. I'll be at the screening.
Amazing. All right, well, everyone, please join us October 28th for Jason Goes to Hell, and make sure to check out Meet Cute. And that last Wednesday, we're going to have Kari here live on a first date. That about wraps it up for us. Thank you again so much for
Thanks for
spending
having
the time
me.
for us. Everyone, have a great evening. Kari, thanks so much again.
You're welcome.